Dear brothers and sisters in Christ, telling a joke is an art. Being able to capture a punchline is a delight. I say this in the light of today's readings. At the heart of today's readings is a question. Why do great teachers tell stories? The disciples of the Lord in the Gospel asked him, "Why is it that you talk to the crowds in parables?" My dear brothers and sisters in Christ, in today's first reading, Jeremiah is sent out by the Lord to confront the people of Israel with the truth. He is to tell them of their unfaithfulness. He is to tell them of the fact that they've abandoned God. He is to tell them of their crimes. Jeremiah has no other option but to communicate what the Lord has commanded him. And yet Jeremiah has a choice to make. How does he confront Israel with the truth? If he tells things as they are, they might not listen to his message. Or he might not wear his head. So Jeremiah tells a story. And in telling the story, Jeremiah says, when Israel was young, she was pleasing to God, faithful in all things, God's delight. She was like a tree or a plant planted on fertile ground. With age, Israel grew old in wickedness. Israel is no longer faithful. Israel serves other gods. Israel has created a crime against God. And he ends by saying, Israel has abandoned God, the fountain of life. And Israel has chosen to dig her own wells. But those wells will soon be dry because they hold no water. Dear brothers and sisters in Christ, it's one thing to lose your loved one. It's even worse when you lose your loved one and they attach themselves to someone else. The betrayal is painful. And Jeremiah says to the people, this is what you have done. God is not happy. If you like, you have hurt God's feelings. In the Gospel, Jesus explains why he tells parables. He is communicating the mysteries of heaven. And yet those he is speaking to have never been to heaven. They can gain an insight or a glimpse of the mysteries that he is speaking about if he communicates them using stories that they are familiar to. And yet, Inasmuch as parables reveal, they also hide. And yet they serve a very beautiful purpose. They are evasive. They confront people with the truth, and they invite them to conversion. Jesus himself, as he interacts with the people, as he pursues his mission amongst them, he is the parable of God. He is a story that people have to decipher to get the meaning. My dear brothers and sisters in Christ, people tell us so many stories. We read about many stories. And yet the question is, what do we make of those stories? Are we able to make sense of them? If we are, and in the light of the kingdom, are able to see the mysteries that are communicated, Jesus compares us to those who see and can perceive, to those who hear and can understand. And when that does happen, it gives us great joy.